Hello, thanks for joining us. This is Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguilera. President Bola Tinubu has sworn in and inaugurated 3 more ministers into the Federal Executive Council. The new ministers include Balarabe Abbas Lawal from Kaduna State. He will serve as Minister of Environment. Jamila Abiyo Ibrahim from Kwara State will serve as Minister of Youth Development. And Ayodele Olawande from Ondo will serve as Minister of State for Youth. The nominees whose names were submitted in a supplementary list were screened and approved by the Senate about 2 weeks ago. The new minister representing Kaduna State, Balarabe Abbas Lawal, was nominated by President Bola Tinubu as a replacement for former Governor Nasir El-Rufai, whose nomination was not approved by the National Assembly. This addition brings the number of ministers in the cabinet to 48. We turn to electoral matters as campaigns get to the climax ahead of the governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states. INEC advises candidates and supporters to abide by the provisions of the Constitution and the Electoral Act, as well as avoid scandalous speeches, including inscriptions on billboards. The advice was given at a strategic workshop organized by INEC in Akwanga, Nasarawa State. Mia Ogidi reports.
11 polls, an election standing on tripod, Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states, and 5 INEC national commissioners in Akwanga, Nasarawa State, taking journalists and other stakeholders on web of issues. Application of beavers, IREV, attitude of pool officials, transparency by INEC, and professional ethics by journalists made agenda. And on the off-cycle elections in Kogi, Bayelsa and Imo states, a note of warning from INEC to candidates.
A political campaign or slogan shall not be tainted with abusive language, directly or indirectly, likely to injure religious, ethnic, tribal, or sectional feelings. And the perception of politics as warfare has for long persisted, that the need for a new thinking has become imperative.
Bayelsa and Kogi are on the tributary, and the fear of flood should form part of the journalist wisdom.
For those to be deployed to such areas, please endeavor to have your life jackets as part of your essential field gear.
Accurate and unbiased reporting is vital to ensure transparency, public trust, and the credibility of the election process.
But for that, the reporting of the media must be correct and must be ethical and not carried by any political leanings.
Apart from flood, the issue of security is also a concern for INEC. And for the candidates, that is 16 in Bayelsa, 17 in Imo, and 18 in Kogi State. And 5.4 million voters across the 3 states will decide the fate of these 51 candidates. From Akwanga in Nasarawa State, Mia Ogidi, NTA News.
The 2023 off-cycle Bayelsa State governorship election is few weeks away, and candidates for the various political parties are already reeling out their manifestos, so we hear. Now, these manifestos are expected to contain their policy plans, a sense of what the electorate should expect from their administration should they win the election. But beyond the manifesto, Bayelsans are yearning for leaders intentional about the holistic development of the state, especially at a time when they are dealing with socio-economic crisis. The report.
No tool encapsulates the ideals and priorities of the candidates and their parties like the manifesto. Ideally, a manifesto is a compilation of the broad vision, development philosophy, ideological learning, and sector-specific policy options that a political party intends to pursue once elected. With the November 11 governorship election around the corner, Candidates of political parties are already jostling from place to place to canvass for support in what is known as campaign rally. The incumbent, Governor Doye Diri of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, the major opposition, Chief Timipri Silva of the APC, and Odengs Eradri of the Labour Party, amongst other candidates, have been appealing to Bayelsans to buy into their candidature with promises to deliver on their promises.
We are calling on politicians generally to begin to look at the issue of manifesto as a key factor.
I want to say they don't keep to their manifesto. I want to advise them that don't tell us what you cannot do. Tell us what you can do. At least 60-70% of what you promise. If you can do that, Bayelsa is going to move forward.
The electorate are now contemplating on which of the campaign promises they are to believe and vote without relying on sentiments, since there is no documentary manifestos made public for electorate appraisal and in the November 11 governorship election in the state. In Yenagua, Baratwaipre Awe, NTA News.
The People's Democratic Party is urging the Independent National Electoral Commission to use the November 11 governorship elections in Bayelsa, Imo and Kogi states to further deepen people's confidence in the electoral process. Let's hear more from Timothy Yusuf.
National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Debo Oluguagba, at a media briefing in Abuja on behalf of the party's leadership said the PDP has noted the statement by INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu that INEC will make full use of its bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, and the INEC result viewing portal, IREF, for uploading of results in the November 11, 2023 governorship elections in Imo, Bayelsa, and Kogi states.
We will not accept any other means of transmitting results in these elections, except as in line with the requirement of the Electoral Act 2022.
On the demand for the replacement of the Imo State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Sylvia Agu, the PDP said it does not have confidence in her ability to be fair to all parties contesting in the November 11, 2023 governorship election. Meanwhile, the leadership of Kogi West Elders Forum has endorsed the ADC governorship candidate Leke Abejide as his consensus candidate, advising the PDP and AA candidate Senator Dino Melaye and Olayinka Braimo from the zone to give their support to the forum's decision.
And based on popular opinion, the highest current candidate among the three frontline candidates in the West Central District was Honorable Elder Leke Abejide of the ADC.
The forum, however, noted that it is not unaware of the pending suit at the Supreme Court over the conduct of the APC primary election by one of their sons, Senator Smart Adeyemi, and that they may return to the drawing board if the outcome favors him for another round of endorsement process in order to accommodate him. In the meantime, Senator Smart Adeyemi has decried the spate of violence ahead of the election in the state.
Whichever party that is responsible should be exposed by the security agencies.
Senator Adeyemi, who is at the Supreme Court, is challenging the outcome of the primary election conducted by the APC. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The Court of Appeal is to adjudicate on all appeals emanating from the decisions of the election petition tribunals across the country in Abuja and Lagos divisions. The president of the court, Justice Monica Dongban Mensem, gave the directive in Abuja. In the light of this, all appellate cases bordering on governorship, national and state assembly elections from state election tribunal judgments will now be heard in the 2 divisions instead of the 20 divisions of the court. The Abuja division will handle appeals from 19 northern states, while 17 southern states cases move to Lagos. The House of Representatives says the anticipated allocation of vehicles to members of the House is strictly for oversight functions and constituency outreach, but not as status symbols. Chairman, House Committee on Media and Public Affairs, Akin Rotimi Jr., in a statement says this clarification has become necessary as the matter has generated public interest with exaggerations. He confirms that the National Assembly bureaucracy is in the process of making phased procurement and distribution of operational vehicles to members of the House over the coming weeks and months. That they are not personal vehicles but utility operational vehicles that will enable lawmakers discharge their duties effectively and above board, without being susceptible to inducement. The House of Representatives further states that for the duration of the 10th Assembly, that is from 2023 to 2027, the vehicles shall remain the property of the National Assembly, unless lawmakers wish to make payment for the outstanding value of the vehicles to government coffers before they can become theirs. That is, if the extant assets, the boarding policy of governments is still in place by 2027. As the world celebrates World Food Day, Nigerians have been assured of vibrant policies and programs to achieve food security and improved livelihood as contained in the renewed hope agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, gave the assurance in Jigawa State while inspecting 40,000 hectares of irrigation farmlands to be used for massive wheat production in the state. Awal Mohammed Kazaure reports that the theme for this year's celebration is Water is Life, Water is Food.
Food and Agriculture Organization is a specialized agency of the United Nations, is marking the day to celebrate the amazing food that people have and to also raise awareness for people who do not have such privilege. Many people around the world face hunger and starvation, which is a massive problem in a number of countries, and the world needs to do more to raise awareness to combat this problem. Here in Nigeria, the federal government has set up short, medium and long-term plans for the realization of food security in the country. This, the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abubakar Kyari, says the country has all the potential, noting that farmers will be exposed to modern farming trends and implement for bumper harvest.
The commitment is there also from the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and we are along that trajectory. You recall that out of the 8-point agenda of Mr. President, number 1 is food security. That in itself shows you the commitment of Mr. President. And there are 3 other out of the 8 that also has to do with agriculture, job creation and the economy and the economic growth, and poverty reduction, and also inclusivity, because I see a lot of youth here and want to engage a lot of youth. Instead of lying fallow and lying idle, let them engage in something that will enhance their livelihood.
The minister says the federal government is not taking chances in exploring all opportunities embedded in the agricultural sector to boost the nation's food production for local consumption and exports. The minister was also at the palace of the Emir of Hadejia, Adamu Abubakar Maje, to intimate him on the federal government effort to invest in wheat production, as Jigawa State is contributing 40,000 hectares of fertile land to the program. In Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
The future of Africa's agriculture in the midst of climate crisis is bugging the minds of key players who are in Abuja for the inaugural conference on accelerating agricultural adaptation in Africa. Kelvin Ehunwahe reports.
Came from across the continent, representing different strata of the agricultural sector, including smallholder farmers groups, women in agriculture, as well as civil societies in climate change space, put together by the Pan-African Climate Change Justice Alliance and the Nigerian Climate Change Council. This conference has only one purpose: finding a way to sustain food production, as flooding is wiping farmlands across Africa, thereby endangering food security and livelihoods. With much of climate change financing tilting towards mitigation, stakeholders say it is now time for governments in Africa to pay more attention to adaptation strategies.
Putting together this conference will enable us identify solutions that can be applicable by looking at those solutions that have worked in similar countries like Nigeria within the African context, and then try to see how we can elaborate that.
Cultural development and the challenges that flooding come along with. And we feel this is a very great opportunity that we can utilize and harness and see how we improve on the life of the communities.
Ahead of COP28, recommendations here will form part of Africa's position for the negotiation blocks on agriculture. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
As the global community marks World Food Day, critical stakeholders in Benue State have harped on the need to put in place effective storage facilities such as silos to prevent post-harvest losses and ensure food security. Charles Abba in this report takes a look at the need to revamp the moribund silos in Benue State.
The establishment or importance of silos in any polity, especially in an agrarian state like Benue, cannot be toyed with.
It has a capacity of 1.3 metric tons. It's also one of the 33 silos in Nigeria.
The silos are meant to prevent post-harvest losses of some of these grains, so that this pest, which could be like weevil for insects, rats for rodents, will not destroy the crops who are in storage.
We have those that are for bulk, cement, sawdust, silage for animals.
These are the state-owned silos built in the 60s. They have been moribund or not in use for more than a decade. What is the level of patronage of silos by farmers in the state?
You know, most of the farmers, they always keep their produce where they can easily get access to and sell. So if they go and keep in federal government silos, it may be difficult for them to receive and sell.
The agricultural experts, however, explain that government silos are for storing grains for use during scarcity and not for individual farmers. In Makudi, Charles Abba, NTA News.
Right, it's World Food Day, and it's only natural we head back to the food basket of the nation, where we join our correspondent Charles Abba. He's at one of the silos site along Old Bank Road in Makodi there. He wants to tell us more on the importance of silos in achieving food security. Charles, please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, Ruth. I am here at the site of one of the sites of the silos in Benue State. And you know, Benue State is fortunate to be one of the states that has one out of the silos that federal government established in 33 states of the country. As Mr. President declared emergency on food security, and today is World Food Day, it becomes germane to talk about the benefits of silos as regards ensuring that the emergency placed by Mr. President on food security is actualized. And right now, I have with me the Professor of Agri Production or Crop Production and Commissioner for Agriculture, Professor Moses Ogbaji. Professor, today is World Food Day, and Mr. President has declared emergency on food security. Now, we are looking at the role of silos in ensuring that the dream of Mr. President is actualized. What role do silos play in ensuring food security in the country?
Thank you very much. Today is World Food Day with the theme, water is life, water is food, do not leave anybody behind. In Benue, under the able leadership of the governor of Benue State, His Excellency, Reverend Father Hyacinth Yomemalia, we have effectively keyed into the emergency declaration by the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Here, we must commend the President for that giant step. It's going to revolutionize agriculture. In Benue State, we have keyed into this and we are not taking it for granted with the active support of the governor. Silos are very important in food security. The reason being that silos are used for bulk storage of food, and silos have an advantage over other methods because it's easier to preserve food in silos. Mind you, there are two types of silos, the tower type and the pit type. In Benue, we use the tower type. The tower type is airtight. With that, rodents cannot enter. Insects cannot enter. Even the temperature is maintained, highly regulated, therefore diseases do not survive. The insects cannot breathe, they cannot aerate, they die. Therefore, makes food available all year round. And that is why Benue State has continued to maintain its status as the food basket of the nation.
Okay, we know that Benue State is an agrarian state.
Very well.
And being an agrarian state, these facilities are needed for it, yes, to ensure that food security is actualized.
Yes.
By God's grace, Mr. President, the federal government located one of its silos in Benue State. How has this silos been useful to the state?
We are very grateful to the president for locating one of the silos in Benue. The silos in Benue has a capacity of 1.3 metric tons, and we are putting in effective use where we store grains, maize, rice, guinea corn, and others. With that, during scarcity or during the dry season, we bring it out. So we are very grateful for providing that for us. It's one of the 33 silos in Nigeria, and we are privileged to have one. We are putting it to effective use, and it will continue to help us. It's one of the aspects of agriculture that has helped us to maintain our status as the food basket.
Thank you very much, Professor Moses Ogbaji, Professor of Crop Production. Thank you very much for your insight. As you will like to know, Mr. President actually declared emergency on food security, and the role of silos become germane as far as this issue is concerned. So that's the much we can take from Makudi. Ruth, it's back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Charles, for that. Of course, and just to add to that, food security is actually the top priority of the 8-point agenda of this administration. So that's of major concern. We turn to other matters. The issues at the Nigerian Postal Service NIPOST has been resolved, with the new Postmaster General Tola Odeyemi taking over the helm of affairs at the corporate headquarters in Abuja. Well, this was after a mild drama where members of the staff union registered their displeasure over the change of baton. Chimdama in the BC reports.
The gate of the Nigerian Postal Service is now wide open. Before now, the gate was under lock and key for more than 3 hours as the staff union, the National Union of Postal and Telecommunication Employees, protested the removal of former Postmaster General Sunday Adeboju. The new Postmaster General, who is the first female to take up this position, has assumed office.
Good afternoon. Okay, good afternoon. I'm Franco. Okay, nice to meet you. Thank you very much.
She addressed the media and the staff.
I aim to build on the commendable work of my predecessors. My aspiration is not only to solidify NIPOST status as one of the leading postal operators in the world, but also to make it a critical conduit in bridging trade, economic and social gaps of our beloved country. To make NIPOST a dependable logistics provider that can connect Nigerians, irrespective of what they do, entrepreneurs to their customers, diaspora to their relatives back home, Nigeria to the global e-commerce market, and also Nigerians to their government.
She later went into a closed-door meeting with the management staff in Abuja. Chimdama Ndubisi, NTA News.
All right, let's go on a break. We're back. Please don't go anywhere. Welcome back. We head into Lagos now to join Hingino. She has the next set of reports for us. Hingino.
Thank you, Ruth. Nigeria's attainment of food security and sufficiency can only be achieved through a decisive action plan that can surmount the challenges of access to land and land degradation bedeviling smallholder farmers in the country. This and the need for more recognition of farmers are issues raised by stakeholders as Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark the World Food Day. Joel Bukola has the report.
Often described as the #1 need of man, food provides the much needed energy for human survival. The World Food Day therefore seeks to draw attention to the significant role played by farmers and other stakeholders in the agriculture value chain to attain sufficiency in food production. While there has been a series of initiatives aimed at achieving food security and sufficiency in the country, experts say there is still much to be done to ensure the major stakeholders, especially smallholder farmers who are the major producers of food, are supported.
So Nigeria, we are really blessed. We are blessed with the weather, we are blessed with the climate. So it's something that we can really work on, understand, take advantage of our own climate and make sure that we'll put in the necessary effort into it so that there can be enough food in the country.
Addressing security issues, provision of incentives and adequate infrastructure to support rural farmers, stakeholders believe will go a long way in helping Nigeria achieve food security and reduce importation of major staple foods into the country.
Any intervention now for farmers from federal government or state government, they should channel it through the farmers. They should not put, because bureaucracy of the officials are too much. So that's what we want them to help us directly.
Well, to achieve food security in Nigeria, the government needs to do more of intervention, do more of seminar and training to farmers so that they will introduce more things on IT. You see, now we are going into agribusiness.
The theme of this year's World Food Day, which is Water is Life, Water is Food, Leave No One Behind, farmers say is apt in view of the significance of water to agriculture. With agriculture being a major thrust of the economic policy of the current administration, farmers are hopeful that some of the teething problems in the value chain will be surmounted. In Lagos, Joel Ukbola, NTA News.
Small and medium enterprises play a major role in most economies, particularly in developing countries. The World Bank says SMEs represent about 90% of businesses and more than 50% of employment globally. That is why employment specialists are calling on young Nigerians not to allow themselves to be brainwashed by the false belief that white-collar jobs are more dignifying than small or medium-scale businesses. Lanre Bidei tells us more.
Perception that securing a white-collar job is better than being self-reliant, corporate employment experts say is a false societal conviction, which often influences young ones in their educational pursuit. They said some who embrace personal businesses do that because they do not have any other option left, so they call it side hustle.
Change your mindset from thinking about a job to thinking about how do I earn a sustainable livelihood. As soon as you can divorce your sense of self-worth and how you earn a livelihood from the idea of a job like this, that's the biggest first step. Because in as much as you keep on looking for a job that has been defined as society by certain things. White collar, you go to an office, you have a degree, right? And that's what we call a job. Somebody pays you on the 30th of every month. But some jobs don't even give you a sustainable livelihood.
There's a big gap between people understanding, the different categories of jobs. And I think from our parents, many years ago, the expectation is for you to land a white collar job. To work in an office, to dress up, wear a tie, literally white collar, like they say, But the world is changing, and I think parents and even young people need to start paying attention to the fact that, there are other kinds of jobs.
According to these experts, side hustle can become the only hustle so long as it is legal, sustainable, and pays the bills. Halimat Bakari, who is still in school, said she will not join the job hunting queue when she graduates because she wants to continue with her side hustle, which is short film production.
Whenever I tell someone that I work as a storyteller, like that I go to story hunting, they'll be like, is there even money there? You're just wasting your time. You're telling people story that does not have your time. But it is what I love to do.
Experts believe parents and society need to change the narrative about total dependence on white-collar jobs by encouraging youth to be self-empowered, as personal business is more profitable than salary-paying jobs. In Lagos, Lanre Bileyi, NTA News.
That's it from here. It's now back to Ruth in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you, Hingino. The federal government, in collaboration with its partner, a commercial bank, is inviting eligible Nigerians to apply for its recently launched digital skills program for MSMEs. In a statement by the senior special assistant to the president on job creation and MSMEs, Office of the Vice President, Temitola Adekunle Johnson, says entries for the FGN X Alert Digital Skill Innovation Program are open to tech enthusiasts, aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners, job seekers, working professionals, and visionary future leaders. Interested and eligible Nigerians can visit the website https://fg/skillnovation.alert.ng and apply for the program, as the portal will open from this Monday, 16th October 2023. Applicants must be Nigerian citizens residing in Nigeria and must be between the ages of 18 and 35, have literacy and numeracy skills with formal education as a plus and not mandatory. Applicants must also have a digital device, that is a smartphone, laptop or a desktop, to help stay connected and engaged, with commitment to the entire duration of the program and keen interest in digital skills, entrepreneurship or technology. Kaduna will be our next stop and Salamatu will be our guide. Kaduna will be our next stop.
I'm glad to have you.
Right, we seem to be having signal challenge there. We'll pick up from here. Nigeria's ambassador to Turkey, Ismail Abba Yusuf, has assured prospective investors of the present administration's commitment to ease of doing business and returns on investment, as he urges them not to miss the opportunity of investing in Nigeria at this time. This was at the Nigerian Investment Forum at the just concluded 4th Turkey African Business and Economic Forum in Istanbul. Benny Adams reports.
Strengthening economic ties and cultivating robust partnerships between Turkey and Nigeria, with the shared objectives of fostering trade, development and mutual growth, is the reason for this gathering.
They and the Nigerian Embassy.
And seated here are visionary entrepreneurs, business leaders and industry experts from Turkey and across Africa, together in a bid to unlock countless potential trapped in the region. With 70 Chamber of Commerce under NASIMA, the private sector, in a warm handshake with the public sector, are selling Nigeria to the world.
Agriculture and everything Nigeria is an opportunity, I'll tell you. If you solve any problem in Africa, you make money. It's still a place where you need investment in almost every sector you can imagine. And there are willing business partners to take you there.
The train is taking off. You must take the train now. If you are not in Nigeria, you are not in Africa. This is simple truth.
The government at the official level are doing everything possible to remove obstacles to trade, to enhance people-to-people contact between the two countries so that both sides can have mutually beneficial prosperity, peace and security.
They are interested in boosting Nigeria's $4.2 million creative sector, in addition to mining, energy, textile and furniture, agriculture and the blue economy, alongside oil, gas, hospitality and tourism. And they all agree that if one is not doing business in Nigeria, then one is not yet in Africa. In Abuja, Benny Adams, NTA News.
The Cross River State government says the 2023 Calabar Carnival promises to be more exciting while assuring tourists of maximum security during and after the event. Governor Basi Otu, represented by his deputy, gave the assurance while flagging off the first dry run heralding activities for the 2023 Carnival. Justina Etim reports.
The 7 competing bands are expected to interpret this year's theme, Season of Sweetness, in choreography, colorful costumes and other performances, bringing fun to the streets, which makes Carnival Calabar a brand to reckon with. And this first dry run is part of rehearsals preparing the band for the main events in December. Flagging off the events, the state's governor, represented by his deputy Peter Ode, says Carnival Calabar has taken a different dimension with infusion of exciting innovations to give fun seekers an unforgettable thrill.
This year Carnival is going to be better than any other Carnival that we have ever seen in Nigeria. It is a season of sweetness, and we are ready to ensure that the Carnival goes on peacefully, smoothly, without any security situation in Cross River State.
Apart from the entertainment, Carnival Calabar has over the years served as a means of boosting tourism and the local economy.
The cultural relief that has turned around Cross River State in the turn of the millennium, changing the landscape of Nigeria and using this as our best foot forward. The musicals are back.
The 2023 Carnival Calabar will also feature a raffle draw where the winner will be awarded with a brand new car, as disclosed by organizers. In Calabar, Justina Etam, NTA News.
And still staying in Calabar, after 4 months of closure occasioned by the recent boat cruise mishap, the Marina Resort has been reopened to the public after a holistic intervention by the Cross River State government to provide and satisfy people's recreational needs as part of tourism architecture of the state. The state governor, Senator Basi Otu, who was represented by the Speaker, Cross River State House of Assembly, revealed that the Marina Resort has been upgraded and rehabilitated to boost tourism. We have our correspondent, Oberheisen, standing live. We will be joining him at the Marina Resort there in Calabar. But let's bring you these background reports by Paul Abel first.
Tourism is one of the subsectors that has brought Cross River State world recognition, especially through the Carnival Calabar. One of the state flagships in the tourism subsector is the Marina Resort, which plays host to thousands of people during holidays and festive seasons, coupled with its peculiar aquatic environment. But the resort was shut down as a result of the boat cruise mishap, where 3 medical students lost their lives on 24th June 2023. After 4 months, with attention given to security and safety loopholes, renovation of some infrastructures, strengthening of regulations, the state government is elated that the facility is ready to receive the world again.
What I've seen here is very impressive. For this to be done within 4 months, it's magic. It's electric.
Marina is rebranded. Marina is clean now. Marina has 24-hour lights. The vendors are ready.
The people are expressing optimism that the measures put in place will be maintained for the viability of the resort. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
All right, since activities are in top gear for recreational activities to pick up there in Calabar, we'll join Oberheisen. He wants to give us more update on the Marina Resort. Oba, please go ahead.
Cross River State, no doubt, has activated its tourism potential renaissance of tourism in Cross River State began shortly after the loss of Bakassi to the Cameroon Republic and the 76 oil, where as the then governor of Cross River State, Governor Donald Duke, initiated Tinapa with its frontline Carnival Calabar that is globally recognized as the biggest street party, not forgetting the overhauling of the Tinapa and also the Obudo Mountain Resort with its complimentary cable car, including the Slave Museum and the Marina Resort. Talking about the Marina Resort, a lot of issues happened that led to the closure of Marina Resort, but this multi-billion naira facility has been reopened. We have with us here the Commissioner for Tourism, Arts and Culture, Honorable Abubakar Ewa. Welcome, Honorable Abubakar Ewa, to NTA Nationwide News.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, there were a lot of issues that led to the closure of Marina Resort. I'd like to hear from you what the state government has done, to ensure that such an incident does not occur again.
Thank you very much. The gaps that were involved in that incident has been closed, and the state government has put certain critical measures on ground, operational measures, to ensure that such an event do not occur again.
Okay, talking about the revamping of the Marina Resort, I'd like to hear from you, aside the measures put in place, is there any structural changes here at Marina Resort?
The structural upgrade in Marina Resort and even the security architecture have been put in place. So the Marina Resort is ready. All the facilities have been upgraded. The cinema is back. Every other activities, the boat regatta, everything has returned back to Marina Resort.
Okay. Honorable, I'd like to hear from you also on the revamping of the tourism sector holistically, because Cross River State prides itself as a tourism destination of Nigeria. Tell me the measures put in place to boost this sector.
Well, we have done a lot in boosting the sector. One, the Rans Resort, suffered stagnation for some time, but we have created an enabling environment. We want to implement the public-private sector partnership in such a way that when we create an enabling environment, by taking the existing staff, which were not really professional staff, into the main civil service, it will create an enabling environment for investors to do a public-private partnership.
Honorable, we will be getting back to you. That's how far we can go. We will return back again after the break.
Welcome back. I'm afraid we can rejoin Oba in Calabar. We're heading to Ibadan to join Larry this time around for more reports. Larry.
See you, Ruth, and welcome to Ibadan. The Federal Medical Center, FMC, Abeokuta, will stand as a beacon of hope for countless patients in need of Medicare and ensure that no life is lost due to oxygen shortages. The medical director, FMC, Abeokuta, Professor Adewale Musa Olomu, stated these when he received a delegation from the United States Agency for International Development, USAID. Yemi Dalimo has the details.
The visit of USAID Project EPIC FHI 360 delegation to the management of the Federal Medical Center, Abeokuta, among other things, is to assess the quality of the liquid oxygen plant under construction so as to ensure the equipment's sustainability and safety. Leader of the delegation, Dr. Kenny Ewolum, and the project director, Adiza Kamofu, speak on the efficacy of the liquid oxygen plant.
We've met with the facility management team and the technical team, the civil engineers, the biomedical engineers, and we think we're impressed with the work that is going on.
This facility is only one out of 8 facilities that is receiving this support from the USAID.
The medical director of FMC Idiaba Abeokuta, Professor Adewale Musa Olomu, while appreciating USAID for sponsoring the liquid oxygen plant, assured them of the maintenance of the equipment.
So we have the combination of a lot of securities around, and we can assure you that these facilities will be protected.
150 hospital beds are to be piped to the liquid oxygen plant, along with a 10,000-liter storage tank, in addition to FMC's old gaseous oxygen plants. In Abeokuta, Yemi Dalimo, NTA News.
That is the trending report from Ibadan. At this hour, Nationwide continues at our Abuja studios, where Ruth is standing by.
Thank you very much, Larry. As part of reforms for effective policing in Nigeria, the Minister of State Police Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, well, that's not the story we'll pick up with. Still on police reforms, but not that one. As part of reforms for effective policing in Nigeria, the Minister of State Police Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, is currently attending the International Association of Chiefs of Police Conference in the United States. Francis Vom reports that this is aimed at aligning Nigeria's efforts with global best practices and fostering a more progressive Nigerian police force.
In the visit, the minister had a meeting with San Diego Chief, Christian Bible, and discussions centers on shared commitment on innovation, accountability, and community-centric policing, while noting that the visit is a testament to the unwavering dedication of the President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda for the Nigeria police. The minister also visited the San Diego Central Jail, which serves as a beacon of progress, embodying the transformation that Nigeria aspires to achieve. And for the Police Affairs Minister, it is a privilege to witness firsthand the strides made in correctional facilities and rehabilitation programs, setting an example for Nigeria to emulate. The visit is expected to serve as a cornerstone in the ongoing mission to build a police force that the Nigerian communities can trust and rely upon. Francis from NTA News.
Sports update is next.